So Newcastle to kick off. The stark facts of their nightmares away to Wimbledon are 7 visits either here or to Plough Lane, 6 defeats in which they conceded 18 goals and 1 0-0 draw, and that was getting on for 8 years ago. Well, the ball kicked out by one of the Newcastle players, one of the kick-in balls, has actually hurt a lady in the crowd, and Newcastle represented in that concern. Kevin Keegan's been over, the physio Derek Wright was there. Ferdinand. Put out by Kimball.
I think Andy Pearce has got a big job today, Mark. I think he'll almost mark Les Ferdinand man for man, because if Chris Perry's the one that gets attracted to Ferdinand, I think he'll totally dominate him in the air, particularly.
Here's Pearce in front of Ferdinand, helped on by Kimball. McHarper's header down. The Norwegian, Leonardson. Steve Howie diving in. John Beresford turning confidently away. Clark, that was late. Leonardson. And a booking. Inside the opening 90 seconds.
Yeah, well, it is late. And I think the referee just saying, I'm not going to stand for any of that.
Beresford takes the free kick. Here's Ginola. Taking on Cunningham. Needed the third defender to come and make the tackle. It was Perry. Holdsworth. To listen to the noise, it's almost a home from home here for Newcastle United.
Well, it is where we're sitting, that's for sure. Right underneath us, absolutely packed. Black and white.
John Goodman and Kenny Cunningham, who came in a joint deal from Millwall just over a year ago, operating somewhat in tandem down the right-hand side. So Goodman is a goal-getter by instinct. So is Epenikoku coming down the left, and there's Harper and Holdsworth in the middle.
I think the one thing that disappointed him there when the ball dropped back to Cunningham, he had time and he had space to put it in. And both Mick Harford and John Goodman had a word with the right back saying, hey, never mind trying cheeky little balls down the line. Let's put it in the middle, put it in the box.
But Gillespie pressing Kimball. Wimbledon have been working for most of the week on pattern of play, setting up a reserve side to represent, to play as Newcastle, if you like.
Must be a good reserve side.
Well, Mick Harford was doing the Peter Beardsley job in the session that I watched, which was very interesting. He did it very well, I must say. And then suddenly, with these illnesses, he's got himself in the team. Had a spell, of course, with Newcastle back in the early 80s, a short spell. Here he is crossing now. Holdsworth going for it. Koku was coming in as well.
I would expect a lot of that work for Peacock and Howie today. I'm sure Kevin said, listen lads, let's hope you're up to heading the ball, because you might have to do that pretty much from minute 1 to the 90th.
Well, let me just tell you one thing, Andy. I was just doing a little adding up this morning, and 11 league goals conceded by Newcastle. I make 8 of them headers.
Well, there you go then. I'm sure that Joe knows that small fact as well, Martin.
Leonardson. Goodman can turn, and the flag is up. It was going to be a corner. Instead, it will be a free kick to Newcastle for the offside decision.
Just Mick Harford just drifted offside, anxious to get on the end of anything. It's a decent turn, whether it's a little bit of miscontrol or when he turns inside very well, Goodman. But you can see Harford only half a yard in it. It's a tight call, but he'll be pleased to play. He's a real competitor. I think they would be saying, don't you run too wide, Mick. You keep yourself in central area as much as possible. You be our target. Let's see if we can feed off you.
But forward. Holdsworth chasing. Here's Earl, the Wimbledon captain today. Well, Warren Barton typifies what Wimbledon do so well. Bought for £300,000, developed, sold for £4 million plus. Absolutely marvellous, the business acumen and the talent spotting here. That's Robbie Earl, who does get forward well from midfield.
Half a chance. And that's an area people have talked about in Newcastle. Maybe tracking back isn't the forte. The only thing I think troubles Earl is a very high hanging cross, and he got there a fraction early. The ball arrived just about half a yard behind him, and he had to adjust his jump.
Yes, with a header. Leonardson, forward by Cunningham. Peacock pressed by Holdsworth, but the defender does well. Slick surface on a mild December afternoon in South London. Ferdinand. Rob Lee is racing towards the penalty area. Beardsley's got the ball. That landmark in his sights. To become only the 5th Newcastle player to reach a milestone of 100 league goals for the club.
Well, he has David Ginola. You see him going behind Peter Beardsley. He made a lovely run. Look at the space he was in. Had Beardsley just reversed the pass. But obviously he's anxious to get that 100th goal. Opted for the shot.
Well, he certainly knows all about it. He's a great statistician in his own way, Peter Beardsley. Leonardson. Ekoko! Well, once he got there, you expected that Wimbledon would take the lead.
Not an easy chance, in all honesty, Mark, no, but it's a magnificent cross in from Leonardson. That's with the ploy. Up to Harford, back for a midfield runner. Now, that's a difficult cross, but he plays it in beautifully. Ikoku does his job. He gets in there, and all he can do is skip it off the ground. He's just put his foot on it. He can't opt for power. He just tries to guide it in the far corner, and he's only fractionally off target.
And just fractionally offside was Peter Beardsley.
Super cross. I mean, I can only admire a ball in like that. We talked about the four, and I expect when balls are coming in from the left, I would expect Goodman to be doing what Ikoku did from this side.
Well, they've certainly picked a team here, Wimbledon, to have a go at the league leaders. Well, Harford. Trickery there against Beresford. Now, how costly will that mistake by Harford be? Beresford gets it back from Beardsley. Ferdinand flying in! Tremendous goal from Newcastle United, and Les Ferdinand to round off a sweeping move. And Mick Harford will hang his head. He lost the ball.
You have to feel for Mick Harford, but this was what would have frightened them. Breaking when they lose possession. They watch how many people are ahead of Mick Harford, Mark. We talked about emptying it. Look at that. There's a huge hole there where all midfield players, the two central midfield players, have gone. Now, it's not over and done with yet. It needs a good ball. It needs a better run. And it needs a really cool finish. And Newcastle provide us with the lot. Super goal. Wonderful ball in from Barton. And who else would we expect to be on the end of it? But an on-fire Les Ferdinand.
19 for the season, 16 of them in the Premiership. And this on a ground where he once scored for Wimbledon. I think you were here, Andy.
Oh, yeah,
goal.
near post header from my corner, wasn't it?
Headed into his own goal when he was playing for Queen's Park Rangers, at the very end of which he's put the ball in properly for his team this afternoon. And it's set the tone. I think when we saw the sides announced, we expected what we've been delivered from Newcastle in terms of their lineup. But Wimbledon going for broke, if you like, and with players forward. But when you lose possession against a side not just of this quality but of this confidence, well, trouble was beckoning, and it duly arrived. Goodman.
One thing I will say though, Martin, Joe picked a side, I think, to score goals, and I don't know whether he honestly believed his team could keep a clean sheet. So, I mean, I don't think it'll be too despondent that they've gone 1-down. They won't be happy about it, the way the goal came, but I think he would have felt we're going to lose goals today, possibly. But I'm picking a side that might just score me a couple as well.
And McCarthy, part of the attacking plans.
Well, perhaps it was that Peter Beardsley role that he played all week in training. He tried a little drag back in an area, well, he probably didn't expect to get punished so severely losing possession there. Forwards are, well, we're lucky like that. We can usually lose possession 100 times and get away with it 99. But that time, well, Mick got really punished.
Yes, it was Beresford, Beardsley, Beresford, Ferdinand, goal. But Beardsley screaming for it in the centre circle. Goes instead to Clark. Keith Gillespie, who's just signed a new contract with Newcastle, tying him to the club to 1999. Wimbledon's throw. Kimball. Holsworth did well. This is John Goodman. Over half at the header from Leonardson. It needed the save from Hislop, who's got considerable reach.
That's what I mean. This is a game I know that's going to flow, Martin. I mean, this is a side with Wimbledon who are really going to go for it. And it took a really good save from the keeper.
Koku's cross. Leonardson. Kimball. Holsworth winning it in the air again. Beresford having a problem or two with the bounce. Oh. But it was the midfield man, Leonardson, coming in, who gave the work to Hislop here.
That's a great ball, and Goodman made the run from right to left, got some space. Leonardson does what he should do, back across the goalkeeper. He needed a firm footing there, the goalkeeper, to change direction. He did it really well, pushed it to safety.
Koku. Goodman! Seemed to be going to get there first. As it was, Beresford was able to scrape it behind for a corner.
Beresford did well, Martin. I think he thought the goalkeeper was coming to help him. It was only at the last minute he realised he wasn't there at all, and he needed to make the clearance. But a good response from Wimbledon since the goal.
Kimball's corner. Beresford's headed down. Leonardson. Finally has gone out. It took its time. But he's got a couple of games without scoring as Ferdinand coming into this one.
We can see it here, Martin. Now look who's all ahead of him. Suddenly there's no midfield player in the break. And now they've got a problem. Look at the way Ferdinand on the right peels away behind Pearce. Now Pearce thinks he's going back post. No, he's not. It's classic centre-forward running. He's back across the face of the defender. It's his foot in front. He's only got half a yard. Great goal. Great goal.
Peacock. Slightly a slice kick by Hislop, but Gillespie almost made something of it. These two clubs, such a vast difference in their current plights. But they do have one thing in common. Both their last victories were 1-0 over Liverpool. Newcastle's last Wednesday. Wimbledon's, unfortunately for them, way back on September the 9th.
Did they go third that day by any chance? I think they went something like third that day, Martin. And I remember Richard and I on the Monday after that talking about how well they were doing, and suddenly, with injuries and everything, it's really falling apart from them.
It's the same day, of course, that there was a certain defeat for Newcastle at Southampton. Well, it's not a game that Kevin Keegan usually looks forward to, but it started well. Pierce climbing well. Posted on by Akoko. This is Holdsworth taking Howie with him. So much talk that Dean Holdsworth is going to be the next player that Wimbledon are going to cash in on in the transfer market. He's still very much in Joe Kinnear's plans until they think the time is right and the offer is right.
Well, the time's certainly not right. You've got a proven goal scorer and you're having trouble. And then you need every player like that on your books. And I don't think he'll be going anywhere too quickly unless Joe gets an offer he simply can't refuse.
Ferdinand. Pass from Lee. Too long that time for Gillespie. But Rob Lee is in tremendous form. Another England game not too far away. A week on Tuesday against Portugal. He'll be hoping to be picked again. Koku. Claiming that a hand was used. The referee was very close. Waved away the appeal. Ginola. He wasn't frightened by two defenders around him. There was a bit of shirt tugging, I think, from the Frenchman before he lost the ball.
John Goodman's job was important.
Beardsley. Marston, who is alongside Earl in the centre of midfield. Beardsley got it back. Kimball's challenge, and Perry will just boot it forward. 36, Mick Harford, I think, prefers the ball to feet.
At 36, I know he prefers the ball at feet.
He's done some damage to Newcastle. Got the winner in this fixture last season. Got the winner for Coventry. I think it was his only goal for Coventry. And Newcastle had just been promoted to the Premier League, and also was successful for Chelsea in his time there against Newcastle. Goodman. Holdsworth! Well, Wimbledon have picked a team to score, and they have scored. Dean Holdsworth, 1-1.
Well, that's why he won't be going anywhere quickly, Martin, because he is a goal scorer, and he shows us a great example of what he's good at right there. This, again, is a classic. Look at the four up front almost for them. Goodman just tucks the ball in, didn't know whether he was going to use a full-back. It's an instinctive strike. He doesn't even look at the goals. He knows they're not going to move. He's got his position. He just kills it absolutely exquisitely around the goalkeeper. And this ain't a small goalkeeper. His slot well over 6 foot. But he can't get anywhere near that beautiful strike from Holdsworth. Game on.
Well and truly. Ferdinand for Newcastle. Holdsworth for Wimbledon. Not yet had 19 minutes. Ginola. Koku can't reach it. Gillespie was found by Lee's clever turn. Gillespie's cross. Ferdinand is in there. Terrific save by Paul Heald to stop Les Ferdinand putting Newcastle back in front straight away. The referees decided to stop it here to Wimbledon's annoyance because of the nature of the injury.
I think what they're concerned, he thought he was giving a free kick to the referee, but Gerald Ashby's concern, I'm sure, is that it was a clash of heads. He immediately was pointing to his head, I think, saying I had to blow up, and I think he's quite right. You see him pointing, I've got to blow up. I think he's just explaining that to Mick Harford, even apologised in some ways, because he did stop a very good promising break from Wimbledon.
It gives us a chance to have a look again at the quality of Paul Heald, who's a terrific goalkeeper on his line. He had a terrible time last week, punched a cross into his own net at Coventry, but he's back on form. What a stop that was.
Great stop, but it was Gillespie. Again, as I said earlier, if the two wide men can get one against one, Martin, then they'll cause problems. I think they can both, well, at times they've got the beating of the full-backs. Gillespie did just that, tucked in a lovely ball. Ferdinand, well, we know all about his ability in the air, and it was a purely instinctive save from Neil.
Misjudged by Peacock. Here's Ekoku. Kimball. Kimball's cross. Hislop challenged by Harford, who's put him off. Can Goodman turn it back? Harford is there. It's a goal for Wimbledon. They're in front.
Yeah, you have
Pressure of numbers again.
And you have to look at the goalkeeper. Whether he's got an eye on Mick Harford or not, he should be taking this quite comfortably. This is a goalkeeper. This is catching practice. Mick Harford doesn't do an awful lot, Martin. The goalkeeper got underneath it. He doesn't do a lot then. What a great strike from him there. The important thing after Mick gets involved here is when it comes back is to get it on target. He just controls the shot beautifully, and it drops in the far corner. Oh, what a game.
Gillespie. Corner to Newcastle United. Howie. Well, MacArthur will be feeling much, much better, having been certainly to blame for the way he lost the ball, and Newcastle took it on so quickly, so directly. Just look at Ekoku here, stepping out a leg, and I think he just got a little touch on it.
Brush on that. That'll be an interesting one for Nick to find at half-time.
Wimbledon needing their physio, Steve Allen, to do some work on the back of Efan Ekoku. Goodman. Harford. Could have run on there where Holsworth, another body, get players forward. If there is any defensive shortcomings, then you've got someone to cash in. Wimbledon have shown the value of that. Of course, the price you might pay for it is having too many players forward against a team as talented as Newcastle United. This is Ginola. It's enthralling entertainment at Selhurst Park. And Ferdinand, another goal. His second, Newcastle's second. We haven't yet had half an hour, and it's 2-2 at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, they're a little flat-footed defensively. Wimbledon when the cross comes in. Ginola, again, he didn't even try to beat his man this time. He's got one against one. Harper comes over, but he just drops it in at the front post. And Ferdinand's got such good movement. For a big man, he doesn't stand around the far post and wait. He's so aware of that area at the near post. He reacts quicker than any defender, and he gets the reward.
Well, for Les Ferdinand, 3 against Wimbledon up at St James's Park, 2 here today, and 20 for the season. That's always a great landmark for strikers. They don't usually get it by the 3rd of December.
20 a season is usually £4 or £5 million worth. He's got 20, and usually it's not even Christmas yet. Oh dear.
Well, it's a real wow of a game, this.
I just hope no one gets nervous now, Martin, or anxious, because this has been a quite fabulous opening half hour to this game. Nightmare for managers, I'm sure, but for us neutral watching, it's been fantastic stuff.
Well, you're not usually guilty of the understatement, Andy, but I think that is. It's even better than that. Here come Wimbledon. Harford. And even the miss kick gave Newcastle a bit of a heart flutter. Goes out off Ekoku. Beardsley. Well, there have been a good few games, Andy, over the last few weeks where Newcastle have had to dig in. They haven't been winning all the time by the 2s and 3s that were happening early in the season. They've been battling and showing their capacity to fight, but they've got difficulties with Nick Harford looping header.
Half a chance for the big man. I don't think he caught the header quite the way he wanted. Seemed to catch him on the top of the head. But it was there for him, and he's certainly capable of scoring from that kind of distance. But again, Robbie Earl, a midfield player, Martin, gets in unmarked. Look at him at the edge of the box. And therefore they're a man short. He tries to get power and it just hits him in the top of the head.
Well, it's a simple philosophy here is we might let in 5, but we're prepared to try and score 6.
Well, I think that Kevin's philosophy has always been that. I think that's what he believes. We might let in a couple, but I think we'll score 3 or 4. And it's so refreshing that Joe's philosophy today has been exactly the same. I don't think he believed he would keep a clean sheet. He might have hoped, but I don't think he would have believed it. And therefore he opted to go for goals. And so far, well, 2 in the opening half hour against Newcastle ain't bad.
Well, it was 3-2 to Wimbledon at half-time in this fixture last season. That's the way it finished. Although Warren Barton, then of Wimbledon, missed a penalty later on. Not just whacking it, the play from the back. On we go. Ginola. Attempts a goal, and Wimbledon certainly leading the way. 3-3 on target, 2-2 in the back of the net.
Not bad, the 3 attempts, 2 Les goals and a Les header that was brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper. That's not a bad ratio.
Here is Les Ferdinand. Past Perry. Beardsley wants it cut back. It goes instead for Gillespie. It goes in. Wimbledon 2, Newcastle United 3. And the supply line this time was through Ferdinand. Role reversal. Ferdinand on the right, Gillespie in the centre. Goal for Newcastle.
Great awareness from Ferdinand. There isn't an own goal from Cunningham, who I think almost does it brilliantly. It might well be. He spots the danger and he tries to get in and retrieve it. And it's just a case of whether he gets there ahead of Gillespie. You know, he might well have done. So we might be questioning 2 goal scorers at half-time. But Ferdinand does everything right. They all expected it to go back to Beardsley, you know, who had just held his position. And he opted to fire it across the 6-yard box. Cunningham did everything he could to stop it going in. Could only just help it into his own net.
Well, Cunningham pressing on here. I think there's no doubt that Cunningham certainly touched it. It's whether Gillespie just got a little piece of it as well. Enough. No defender wants to be debited with an own goal. But Ferdinand had 2 options. Either to play it in low as he did towards Gillespie. Beardsley was waiting for a cutback. Wimbledon were straining and striving, but all in vain.
What's the score?
It's one of those days when you need a calculator with you.
Just keep reminding me, Martin.
Wimbledon 2, Newcastle United 3.
Thanks.
And this time, when we get to 5 goals, I said that was the average in these fixtures between the two clubs in the Premiership. You certainly feel there are more to come. This is Gillespie.
Oh, look at
Beasley, very annoyed. He doesn't often get as demonstrative as that in his disappointment.
He wanted that, and this time Gillespie should have pulled it back. Great ball inside the full-back. Now he's done everything. He draws Perry over. Just tuck it back to Peter Beardsley. He's there. He'll waltz through and give you a 4-2 lead.
Here's Goodman. Who'd be a defender today? Ginola is being asked to go off to get, maybe, is it a ring strapped up?
That's exactly what it is. He's taking it off.
Kimball's cross. It was Howie who went for the ball. Hislop thought it was his. Pearce to play it in again towards Mick Harford. Peacock, who was tugged manfully by Harford as he landed. This is Lennartson. Kimball.
Got a problem coming up, Martin, in 7 minutes, half time. I'm only worried that the managers get in there and say, listen, we're not happy about defending, you'll have to tighten up.
Oh no.
I hope not.
Well, I think to do that, they'll have to bring some defenders on. There aren't enough on the pitch for tightening up. Cunningham, he's supposed to be one of the defenders. And his cross is conceded to the corner off by Warren Barton. Well, Wimbledon have had the pain of going behind, the joy of fighting back. Now Terry Burtman joking here with the hope that the weight of numbers again will work in their favour. 3-2 down, a corner to Wimbledon. Cunningham. Well, there have been plenty of indications here as to why Newcastle have conceded goals in previous games to opposing players heading the ball past Hislop.
That worked perfectly as well at corner, Martin, because as we said often, you play it in for anyone to head it. Kimball got it in a great area. The only thing they did wrong was they all got ahead of it. No one coming in at the far post.
Well, on Monday Night Football tomorrow night, live on Sky Sports, once Andy's finished analysing this game, Sheffield Wednesday against Coventry. Tremendous importance down at the bottom of the table. And they're looking further up the league. The Super Sunday in a week's time comes to the City Ground. Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa. Well, you do think that sometimes there's a bit of a reputation around Ginola. He's had opposing managers like Lou Macari and that Coca-Cola Cup tie criticising him for diving, making the most of any contact he might feel. There's certainly a collision with Cunningham. The referee allowed play to go on. Clark. Oh, Ginola, that's his reply. Very much in keeping with the mood of this extraordinary afternoon at Selhurst Park. Peacock, Ferdinand. Beardsley. Field able to get there in front of Ferdinand.
it was a surface, you know, here at Sellers Park. It's so greasy. It was a great ball from Beardsley, but it just skipped away. 2 bounces and it just left legs. Made a super run.
Trying to hold off Pearce. Lee looking to chip Heald, rather in the manner of Steve Watson against David James in the Coca-Cola Cup on Wednesday night.
It's a clever idea, Robert Lee. One you would expect from a player who's very much high in confidence at the moment.
Ferdinand. Lee. Beardsley. Perry closest to him. Beardsley's away from him, but not, in the end, totally true mastery of the ball, and Pearce picked it from him. Holdsworth using his shoulder, and then sent tumbling by Howie. A little bit of verbal interchange between the two afterwards. Gerald Ashby called Steve Howie over. Howie, I think, was annoyed that the first challenge by Holdsworth wasn't called as a free kick.
Yeah, and the referee obviously interpreted that as just using his body legally, but this one, well, there's no surprise in his book for it. Just the left leg comes out, hooks him, and just stops his run forward. And no surprise to me that Gerald Ashby pulls out a yellow card.
Well, a rare stoppage to the flow of a fabulous first half. Ginola.
Did I just see Darren Peacock pass that back to the goalkeeper? That's the first negative thing that's happened in this whole thing up.
Well, maybe he's just running out of steam as half-time is upon us. It's been a galling first half for the defenders. No wonder they're breathless. Great for the attackers, great for the spectators. Ian Hudson. Coker. Warren Barton used to come back in the afternoons when he was a Wimbledon player and work on his defending. He knows it's a part of his game that he's always got to keep on top of. It's a corner to Wimbledon. They've done so much to try and force things their way in this first half. As it comes to a close, they find themselves behind. Hislop. This is Leonardson. Now, where's it going to drop? Hislop was flailing somewhat.
Got lucky, the goalkeeper, Martin. Got really lucky. I mean, I suppose many will look at it and say, yeah, he did well getting back across his goal. He doesn't deal with this convincingly. He can only punch it down. And as you would expect, they've surrounded the box now. He gets blocked once, and then he gets a little bit fortunate with the rebound back off Robbie Earl. Doesn't quite get there. Yeah, that could have dropped anywhere, in all honesty.
Gerald Ashby has spotted a piece of jewellery, a neck chain on Hislop. These footballers get so much money now, of course. And we don't begrudge them any of it. The display that we've witnessed here, typical of the Premiership. I don't think you ever thought about wearing jewellery when you played under him.
You're right, I couldn't afford it, Martin.
Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Ashby saying to Ferris for picking it up, please. were just too far forward. Just to say again, at half-time last season, it was 3-2 in this fixture in Wimbledon's favour then. A match in which Vinnie Jones was sent off. He's not here today. If you missed the earlier news, he's off with flu, as is Andy Thorne. Well, the first half, it makes you want to just put the microphone down and join in the applause. 2 goals for Les Ferdinand for Newcastle, another forced in by a combination of Keith Gillespie and Kenny Cunningham's attempt to clear. Dean Holdsworth, a certain scorer for Wimbledon. The second to be debated between Nick Harford and Efan Ekoku. More problems for Joe Kinnear. 2 substitutions to make because of injuries to Andy Pearce and Efan Ekoku. Alan Reeves on the right will take on the defensive job instead of Pearce. Marcus Gale is perfectly equipped to work down the left-hand side. But they are the only 2 outfield players available to Wimbledon today, because Joe Kinnear unusually has picked a goalkeeper as his 3rd substitute today. Hans Sagers, who's only just back from a knee operation, isn't fully fit, but nor too is Paul Heald. Five minutes to go. Here's Harford. Gale. An instant impact perhaps from him. Harford on the scene quickly. Robbie Earl. Gale checking to the left again. Across quickly and sensibly, really. And the danger was recognised by Lee. Kimball. It's Goodman getting his head to it, and Newcastle in danger of coming off second best again. Beardsley's given it away to Leonardson. Harford. Here's Kenny Cunningham. Holdsworth. Oh, Wimbledon have a free kick.
Been a good start to the half of the mark. They've out the traps immediately asking questions, putting pressure on. And there's you always feel there's a danger when Wimbledon get a set piece to commit so many bodies in and around the 6-yard box that there's always a chance one of them.
Well, they've called Alan Kimball across. He used his left foot from the right-hand side. Robbie Earl round the back, and first to it was Ferdinand.
Good ball, decent movement. Well, there's plenty of movement here. Look at the way they're attracted. Robbie Earl peels round the back. Fortunately for Newcastle, Les Ferdinand's very much aware.
Kimball involved again at the corner. Ginola running through the centre is Gillespie, now veering to the left. Beardsley. Gillespie. Well, Alan Reeves, who's just trying to pick up the pace of this game, was almost found wanting then as Rob Lee came in the centre.
It's hard that, you know, to come on as a sub cold at the best of times, but when the game is flowing as it has done in the first half, it's twice as difficult. And he almost got caught, but he did well.
Push and shove there. Now Harry was booked just before half-time. Got to mind his P's and Q's with Gerald Ashby ruling against him here.
He's got a tough cookie against him as well. And Mick Halford this free kick. He knows. Look at the way he's tugging onto his shirt. The referee didn't quite see that. But Mick Halford earned that. And he'll test Steve Howe with his experience, his knowledge of the game. He's a big, tough character.
Free kick from Kimball. It's Harford climbing. Lee Clark smacks it away in behind Perry, who's the quickest man at the back. But Ferdinand was making up the ground very rapidly indeed. As Perry just slowed down as he came closer to the ball.
That's ridiculous. How quick was he there? You see him there, he was so close. 5-yard start. He gave young Perry and made it up and almost got in. I'm glad that wasn't me.
There's so much for Les Ferdinand to smile about, at least on the club scene. Beresford. Ferdinand. Oh, that's a mistake by Kimball. Lee!
Well, again, the surface contributes. You know, when the ball sits up in front of you, just ahead of you, and it's going to skip quickly off the ground, that's what happens here. Kimball didn't control it. Well, it was no surprise to me that Robert Lee took the shot on immediately. Just leaning slightly back. It was always rising. And I think Paul Hill was happy to see it do so. On target, that really would have tested the goalkeeper.
Let's get a quick item of news from Nick Collins.
Tim, trying to shed a little more light on Newcastle's third, Kenny Cunningham didn't really want to commit himself as to whether he got the last touch, but all his teammates roared out in unison, own goal, Kenny, when they came out at the start of the second half.
I don't think there's any doubt, Nick. Thank you for that.
That's a hard skill, that Wimbledon skill. No sympathy, was there?
And no doubt that Cunningham did touch the ball, but I think as our replay showed, Gillespie just got a piece of it as well, and it would be churlish to take a goal away from a young player who was in there where it mattered at the right time for Newcastle United, as Kenny Cunningham tried to do his defending.
Well, there'll be others that will decide that as the season goes on, I feel, Martin. Me being one of them, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm sorry. Much as I support so much of what you do, Andy, if you don't do it every week and give us all the clues, the answers to it, it's very, very hard to make that system work.
Well, I'll do it every week if someone provides me with the stuff. No problem with me.
Right. There's a message to the Premier League officials. The goal to Wimbledon still given to Mick Harford here. That clearly looked an own goal earlier in the season by Phil Babb. This is Goodman. Flew across the face of the goal.
Well, the threat's there still, isn't it? Threat is there. And when Mick Harper's not winning the ball, what he is doing is he's stopping Howie and Peacock get clean headers and good defensive headers. Harford again in there. So they don't really clear the box. Drops to Goodman. Leonardson's in a really good position at the edge of the box, but John Goodman opted to control it quickly and well and take it in an instant. I think on target, to be fair, John Beresford would have blocked it.
Well, Wimbledon down in the bottom three. They're still very much in this game against the leaders. Gale. Played back by Gale, knowing that Hislop had a bit of retreating to do. Slightly wayward header on the far side from Ginola. Beresford got back. Beardsley. Clark. Ginola. Well, the linesman was flagging maybe a handball by the Frenchman. That's what Wimbledon were appealing for. Lee. The way things have gone for Wimbledon this season, with misfortune. Maybe found out again. Gillespie. The flag is up on the near side this time for offside.
Well,
What about that one?
Well, I'll tell you what happened, Martin. Ginila's body position, he was half on. And as he turned, he was facing the linesman, who had the best view in the ground of the incident. He flagged for handball. Gerald Ashby totally ignored him. He saw it wasn't, or said it wasn't. And therefore, play went on. But I think they would have been hard done by had a goal come of that. Because I thought it was handball. Nobody could argue with the linesman's position. The whole Wimbledon bench was up as well.
Well, the way this game has gone, we've had a couple of attacks, of course, since then, and that was only a few seconds ago. And as I'm sure you all worked out at home, Peter Beardsley fired one wide of Heel's left-hand post. Earl. And it's Newcastle's throw. Harford takes it away from Beardsley. Leonardson. Holdsworth. Some progressive work from the Norwegian. Wimbledon have to think again, but Earls found a pass wide to Marcus Gale. Holdsworth. Well, he knew he was going to get to it. It was just a case of getting his body position right and his foot position right to try and angle the ball off on target. He didn't quite accomplish it.
Two options he had were to take a touch in it to try and kill it ahead of Peacock and then strike, or just to try and open himself up a little and side foot it. But it came at such pace, it was never going to be an easy chance.
Harford.
Keep it, Mick, keep it!
Leonardson. Well, right from the start, he's troubled Newcastle, Øyvind Leonardson, with his craft from midfield, particularly with his forward running. Well-established international player, of course, with Norway. Corner, forced by Goodman. There's Leonardson. Ball has gone out to Alan Kimball again. Holdsworth and Earl are very good at fastening on to any flicks in the near post area where Marcus Gale is stationed. Great leap in a defensive station by Ferdinand. Was significantly above the rest. Now Barton's taken a bit of a risk in his own penalty area, but got it away. Gale's dummy. Harford. Ferdinand defending again. Ginola. Gets it back from Clark. And there are 5 Newcastle players forward, but Ginola unaccountably has given it straight to Marcus Gale.
He's done that an awful lot today, not give the ball away, but come inside the full-back Cunningham. You know, he can go either way, but I haven't seen him too often take Cunningham on the outside. And whether that's credit to Cunningham, who Ginola feels he can't maybe outdo him in that outside, and he's forcing him inside all the time.
Well, nothing came of it, but Mick Harford won another header there to glance it on. Goodman. Wimbledon get it. And there's just one thought in their mind to press on. In comes Harford. And, in years gone by, they would have been allowed to do that.
We don't see it often these days, and that, well, sometimes more's a pity. I think that's a test for goalkeepers. Big hanging ball like that. Mick Harford from the old school thinks, well, I'll just let the goalkeeper know I'm around. And it does put doubt in goalkeepers' mind.
The trick used to be to let the goalkeeper land and then hit him, shoulder to shoulder. Of course, it's a foul if he's off the ground. It's a trip by Lee. Or is it maybe Lee Clark is being called over.
No, Shelby! Shelby, stay the other side! Stay out there!
hasn't been a demanding game for the referee, only keeping up with it.
Well, I noticed there were only 6 free kicks in the first half, at half-time, which tells you exactly what kind of game it was.
It's going to be very hard for him now to get any message across to his players.
I just wonder with his actions there, Matt, where he was saying, you know, we're getting back in there at the edge of the box, but we've got to get out. I think over the years, Wimbledon's success has been based on getting teams out to the edge of the 18-yard box and keeping them there so they can just bomb the ball forward. And then they can catch the play up.
That's Earl darting in. Gale. The remarkable energy of Peter Beardsley. Forward by Earl. Peacock's header, and Harford anticipated that he wouldn't clear it well. Gale. Kimball charging down the line. Gale finds him well. It needs a good cross from Wimbledon here. Mick Harford attacking it! Well, it was a terrific header, and Hislop kept it out to his great credit.
That's textbook. That's a cameo of Mick Harford at his very best. And a wonderful save from Hislop, but great play from Wimbledon. And Robert Lee's a lucky boy. He allowed Alan Kimball to go down that left-hand side and provide an empty cross relay, no challenge on. Far post, Harford's plied his trade there for years and years. Powerful header and a good save from Shaka Hislop.
Corner to Wimbledon. Harford asked to compete for it again. Peacock who beat him. Leonardson. Kimball. For Goodman. Beresford scurrying across. Trying to stop the supply from the right-hand side. From the left foot of Kimball. Gale. Away by Peacock. Goodman favouring against Beresford in the air. Holdsworth. He's run it out, but when he goes wide, they're not going to be too light in the centre, because Harford was in there, Gale was in the middle.
Pity. But he's trying to urge him on. On the back of that super header. Great ball in from Kimball. When a player gets there, it's so important that he provides something that they can attack. Look at Harford. He's on the move. That's why he beats Howie. Howie's more or less got a standing jump. It's instinctive from a goalkeeper. Quick reactions and just a flick over.
Helped on to Holdsworth by Goodman. Dean Holdsworth against Steve Howie. And up to the defender. Been too many occasions when we've been able to say that this afternoon. It's been all the more the spectacle because of it. Perry.
They've used that ball quite well, Martin, the one to Goodman in the air, because I think they feel Goodman's got the better of, or the beating of John Beresford. And I think that's a credit to the way Wimbledon have approached this second half. 40% of it, and then Newcastle defending third. And I think that was what Kevin Keegan was on about. He's anxious to get his team pushing forward a little bit more.
But Newcastle do have the capacity to score in a twinkle, of course, and even if they're not getting as much of the ball. Goodman, Harford astutely on for Earl. Holding off Lee. Leonardson. Well, it was a bold try on the volley, difficult to hit as it dropped.
You just get the feeling that something will drop for Leonardson today. He's been very busy, very active, involved. He's had one or two efforts and he hasn't quite caught hold of them.
Well, Lee's wrapped his arms around Ferdinand. Gillespie. Bernardson can clear. He's only got one to find, and he's found him, John Goodman. Prepared to take on Beresford, who stuck out an arm. But Goodman was doing his share of the commitment as well.
It was a good battle, that. Loved the way Goodman got the ball down and just attacked Beresford. It was great to see, and Beresford stood his corner.
Just a rare lull in the proceedings. It's everything frozen for a moment as Heel set himself for his kick. Kimball. Andy, Newcastle season going so well. What's this telling us about maybe a way to get the better of them for other clubs who will be watching Wimbledon's progress in this match with interest?
It's very difficult when you're playing against a side playing with such confidence, Martin. I think everyone's always had a sneaky feeling that they might be a little bit suspect at the back, but I think they're better than people have given them credit for. But I do think that the secret against them is to play the game against them with pace, particularly when you haven't got the ball, to make them play at pace. And just test the touch, and then force them, really test the defence, and particularly wide. I mean, I think that Warren Barton and John Beresford are great going forward, but I think I'd test them, or try and test them if possible, defensively.
Kimball. Got it into the danger area again. Harper's attacking it. Holdsworth! 3-3! No more than Wimbledon deserve.
Well, maybe that tells us something else. You mentioned the amount of times they've lost goals from crosses, and it's a back post again. It's on the top of John Beresford. And who's there? The old man of the game, the 36-year-old. Again with a towering leap. Great ball from Kimball yet again. There's Harford. Does it go for goal this time? And there's the Predator. Holdsworth in with his second. Does enough, Mick Harford. Holdsworth the rest. No more than they've deserved, I have to say. Been really impressed with the way they've come out at Newcastle. Now that forces their wayside to come out a little bit more themselves.
The final outcome, I would venture to say that no team has troubled Newcastle this season the way Wimbledon have done. And I would also suggest that no team has played against them the way Wimbledon have done.
They've really tested them in that area, though. We talk, the two big centre-backs are good headers of the ball, but they can't cover the whole width of the 6-yard box, Martin. There are areas that are going to be open. The two full-backs are on the smallish side to be defending headers.
What a great cross from Kimball, though.
Two great crosses produced. The last one was a super cross. It was even better, actually, the last one that produced a great save from Hislop.
And here come Newcastle with Ginola. Well, that's his party piece, isn't it?
Well, that would have been a kick in the teeth. It really would have been a kick in the teeth if that had nestled in the top corner. After working so hard to get back in it, almost immediately the Ginola fashions out a shooting chance. It's curving away from the moment it leaves his foot. But that's the threat. That's what you're playing against.
Well, Kevin Keegan's got Philippe Albert on the bench. A player who can certainly head the ball at the back. Just wonder if he chews the bat with Pavel Sernicek. What language they're talking in?
Sign. And I wondered if it was something that would have crossed his mind to play three at the back. Yeah. I know he's tried it occasionally, but you know, when your team are top, Martin, you're loath to change such a successful system. But this might have been the one-off case where he feels that he would have thought of doing it.
Wasn't quite on between Leonardson and Goodman. Back they come with Earl. Cunningham galloping up the right-hand side. Robbie Earl uses him as a decoy and then slides him through. Cunningham claims for handball against Beresford, who's still in trouble. Oh, and Barton.
What is he doing? What is he thinking, John Beresford? The hands up, with no wonder as an apology. Goodness me, we don't mess about there. He does well to get in and stop the cross, but from here, I mean, put it out for a corner, put it out for a throw-in, but don't take 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on the edge of your own 6-yard box.
Newcastle United are rattled. It's no new experience for them coming here to play Wimbledon, and that will be in their minds as well. Harford, with all that streetwise quality that he's got, who knows the job inside out. It's one of the cruelties of football that you start to really understand the game at the time that the legs give in. So Harford is managing to keep going, and what an effective contributor he's been to this fascinating match. Goodman, Holdsworth goes behind for another Wimbledon corner. 20 minutes to go.
This is really testing time. This is the important time. It sounds crazy me saying this for the defensive part of their side at Wimbledon, because Newcastle can break so quickly and so incisively that all this pressure will mount for nothing if the defenders don't concentrate at the back when their team's attacking.
Strange enough, this could be a worrying position for Wimbledon, even though it's their corner. Because Newcastle are masters of the quick counter-attack. Gillespie, they're backing him up with Beardsley. There's still a ball on here. It's a brilliant pass for Ginola. All this coming from a Wimbledon corner. Ginola.
Well, there you go. That's the example. Right on cue, just as we spoke of it. Robert Lee's inches away from putting his side in front again. Great ball from Beardsley, such vision. Ginola's drifted to the right. Now watch the way they get people in the box. Look at Lee left of the screen, darting into the edge of the 6-yard box. And again, I think it's because it sits up. You see that? About a yard from Robert Lee, it just bounces. Now, could he have taken that on the half volley? Well, I think the result might have been different.
Two players on hat-tricks here. We've got Peter Beardsley still hoping for his 100th league goal for Newcastle. Wimbledon would be grateful for anybody who could turn this 3-3 scoreline into a 4-3 win. Just wondered whether they'd lost a little bit of their battling qualities this season with this dismal run of results. Well, your answer before your very eyes today. Here's Gale. Well, he could have done much, much more.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Again, Mick Harford, the old man, he's battled and fought. Not to do anything, but just to stop Darren Peacock getting a good, clean header. Leonardson gets control, just pops it in. And there's Harford, making a nuisance of himself. Forcing that to drop to Gale, and he's got so much time to get a touch in it, compose himself, have a look. And a little rush of blood there.
Well, I think he was looking to be that very hero that we were talking about. He did score Wimbledon's goal at St James's Park in that 6-1 defeat earlier this season. Of course, in which Paul Hield was sent off and Vinnie Jones ended up in goal. Howie. Goodman. Dallied a little too long. Newcastle really haven't been as swift and decisive in their football in the second half. Goodman.
Take the line, take them on! Take them on!
There's little evidence of tiredness there from Holdsworth, and that's understandable. He's missed a bit of training recently. A kick against Manchester City and didn't play against Coventry. Great header won by Gillespie. This is Lee. Ferdinand moved into the centre. Beardsley trying to return it to Lee. Clark. There's Ginola on the left. Beresford, but much deeper. Oh, and Ferdinand could have just popped that down for Clark. There was a gap for the midfield man to move into.
Sat up horribly for him, in all fairness to Les. He saw the run of Clark and he just tried to cushion it, but watch this, it just sits up, just comes up a little bit higher than he expected. The intention was a good one.
Well, there'll be some players here who will be pressing on in their own minds to win it for their side. Like Marcus Gale, another chance! Oh, well, it beat the goalkeeper, but it beat the post as well.
Well, he's not going to come closer. He's not going to come closer today, I don't think. Again, the long ball's the one that Newcastle really have difficulty in cleaning up early. And that's been the story of the match for them. Anything long, Harford and Holdsworth have made themselves really force Howie and Peacock into, well, not clean defensive headers. And things have dropped in and around the last third. And Wimbledon have reacted quickest to most of them. And that's why Gale came close.
Pushed by Perry on Ferdinand, and the Newcastle fans feel it might be an opportunity now. A bit of push and shove there with Ginola and Cunningham. Warren Barton's come across to try and do some damage to his old pals. But he leaves the free kick to Beresford. Gale should knock it away. He's only knocked it straight to Peter Beardsley. Oh, and it hit Gillespie. Clark. Howie challenging. Tomorrow night, Trevor Francis, working for us on Sky Sports, goes back to Hillsborough alongside Rob Hawthorne to describe Sheffield Wednesday against Coventry. And on our Super Sunday in a week's time, Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa, who have done so well under Brian Little. Just over 3 minutes to go. 3-3 at Selhurst Park. Beardsley. Gillespie. Newcastle coming to life again in the later stages. If you're talking about true championship quality, I suppose, this is when you can turn 1 point into 3 and really make it dismal for the challenging pack. It's certainly desolate for Wimbledon, should that happen. Beresford. That was Ginola. Clark first to it. For Beresford again. Wimbledon working hard to make sure there are no late inroads. Beardsley. Beardsley still. It hit Reeves. Wimbledon can work it away with Goodman and Harford.
Do me a favour.
Played out.
Do me a favour, says Mick Garfield. I'm 36, not 26.
15 years ago, maybe, when I was a Newcastle player. Ginola. Gillespie. It's opened up for him, but Wimbledon will be happy with that. approaching the time when Andy will adjudicate on man of the match. In a game like this, you can understand if you put it on hold until the last available opportunity. Beresford. Ferdinand getting in front of Reeves, but the ball didn't get that far. Chris Perry, who's done some good work from time to time, this promising young defender.
Played well second half, Mark. Not had a lot to do, but his concentration's been good.
Well, we are in the 90th minute, Andy.
I'll tell you, well, our two players, obviously Dean Holdsworth sitting on a hat-trick, so is Les Ferdinand, but I'm going to give it to the oldest player on the pitch, the lad who I think's played out his skin today, and has really set a great example. In my Carling Premiership man of the match is Mick Harper.
Well, his game got off on the wrong foot when he made a mistake, and it's been a fantastic recovery from it, but it's not over yet. It's Beardsley. Ginola. Gillespie. Oh! Well, it went away from Lee and from Ferdinand, and Harford hoisted out.
He says, put it on my right foot, not my left. But that'll do. This is the most searching.
Well, it is the final whistle, not the anticipated Newcastle avalanche. A wonderful game, and the two managers recognising that fact. And Wimbledon courageously have bridged the present gulf between the two sides, while Newcastle still haven't overcome the difficulties of this particular fixture. 2 goals from Dean Holdsworth, and nick off the knee of Efenakoku, responsible for the other one. 2 for Les Ferdinand, 20 now for him this season. Keith Gillespie claiming the other. Newcastle were 3-2 ahead at half-time, but Wimbledon really worked their socks off in the second half. They've got a point to be proud of against a team that have won 3/4 of their Premiership games.